This is a little different. These are just thoughts that are on my mind today, coming from a place of frustration, honestly. Today, you're basically going to be hearing maybe a bit of a rant or something where I would probably text my sister or call up my sister and talk about it. And that is frustration over time stolen. Just time that felt stolen or wasted away by fear, years that just felt stolen because of mental health issues and things like that. The Bible calls it the years that the locusts stole. Some days I get frustrated and I think about, I still grieve over all of the time I felt was stolen from me from the mental health issues of perfectionism and OCD. It might be one of those days where I need to just have a good cry or something. But I have worked through a lot of OCD and perfectionism, and I've won a lot of battles. I've had a lot of victory over that. And I'm so grateful for the resources I found. I'm so grateful to God for never leaving my side as I am an overcomer of these issues. And I really do feel like I've gained that time back. I really do feel like that God has redeemed a lot of those years that were stolen from me, those years of living in fear and survival mode. What got me thinking about this today was actually a conversation, a meeting I just got out of. And it is clear to me that this person struggles with OCD type of issues. In the DSM-5, or you can just Google it too. You can Google OCD distortions. And I believe that one of them is reassurance seeking. And this person will do a lot of reassurance seeking with me on a monthly basis. And the meeting actually went overtime by 25 minutes today, kind of due to that. You all know how that is in corporate. You're not really in meetings going 25 minutes over. There's just not time for that. And I definitely could have ended that meeting sooner. I didn't this time, but I may have to do that in the future if this keeps happening, because I know from personal experience with OCD that somebody else you cannot continue going to somebody else and being that for reassurance. It's a sign that emotional safety within yourself is lacking, and you have to cultivate that inside yourself. You have to give that safety to yourself and learn how to receive God's nurture, which is a process. But I also saw this person looping over and over again. And then, and these are all things that I used to do. The other thing was, what was the other thing that they were doing? This is the one that just, I just saw a younger version of myself, but in a way that made me grieve, because I was like, man, I lost so much time to this myself. And the funny thing is you do have to wake up to it yourself. Like, even if nobody ever did go and tell me, like, hey, you have OCD, maybe with the perfectionism, yes, because I think that's easier to call out. People can call out perfectionism easier than OCD. But you can continue on in your ways. You have to see it for yourself in order to get help. You kind of have to come to the end of yourself. And boy, did I. Boy, did I. And then there was a grieving and a learning process. Now I feel like sometimes I have so much time in my day, sometimes, that's not taken up by all the fear and doubt and OCD loops that used to go on in my mind, that I'm like, what do I do with myself? And God's like, rest, be at peace today. Enjoy your life, live and move and have your being. I just think this is a mammoth issue for so many people. How many people have emotional safety within themselves, But I still didn't get to the third to this person was doing. And that was talking about work items and projects. And this person was saying that they had never learned or seen that before or done that before when they have. And I guess that might be a little bit confusing on the surface, or if you don't have OCD, that might be kind of confusing. I don't know if this resonates with anyone. I would love to know, but because it definitely does with me. And I did not know that I used to do this, but say you would learn a work process one time and you would do it. If you struggle with OCD, that one time can almost get erased in your mind. And you can say, I don't know it, I don't know what to do. And kind of fear and panic can set in. You also question where you're at obsessively. So you'll say, you will worry, like this person is also worried they're not doing a good enough job, that there's something they're missing. This person is not able to be at peace with how they're doing currently in the job. Even though I have given them reassurance that they are okay, they're like, no, I'm not okay. Oh my goodness, that just used to be me. It's like looking in a mirror to a certain extent. And I really, it really makes me sad looking back all the times that I could have relaxed and been at peace and enjoyed my life. And OCD just stole that from me, and perfectionism. I've made some efforts to help this person, and some of them have worked. And I've even called out like specific, there's an OCD distortion is like the need for certainty. And so I've described how in our business, there's a lot of uncertainty. The business that we're in gives us a lot of opportunities to work through OCD, and it's a difficult environment to be in, regardless of whether you struggle with OCD and perfectionism or not. And actually, I'm thinking about it now and almost looking back and seeing such a purpose in being in this space and having so much room to practice. So that's actually just like a silver lining and something to be grateful for. So I'm not sure how much I'll try to explain it, but basically this person will learn something one time, do something one time, but then it kind of escapes them. And then they panic and say, I don't know how to do this. I've never seen this before. And I know that might sound a little funny, but I used to do that too. This person will have an analysis basically done. Maybe there's like one little thing left to do, and they'll be like, it's not done. And they'll act like they have to start over from scratch. When it's like, no, it's mostly done. You just have this one other thing to do, and you just don't trust yourself. Oh my gosh, I used to do that. And then I was sitting here thinking after the meeting was over and realizing a way that I am still doing it right now today. I've broken through layers of this, but I'm like, oh my gosh, this is still something I can get further freedom from, which that's where a reframe, I'm trying to get myself out of it right now and relax a bit. I can tell I'll need to take a walk, laugh a little bit, not take life too seriously. That's a big part of it because it's just kind of got me down. After the call today, it just struck me so much that I was talking to somebody with a high level of OCD that I went and played some of my resources. I played a YouTube short about it. And this person was talking about how you need to break through avoidance and face your fears and kind of things like that, like exposure therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, that type of stuff, in order to break through and work through OCD. And I had this thought to myself of oh my gosh, I haven't done that. And it's like, no, yes, I have. I've been actively working through that for the last 5 years now. And I was like, oh gosh, I just did it. And there's this thing that can happen with OCD where you forget, something I'm working through and moving on from and gaining just a different upgraded perspective and mindset shift in is I don't have to always remember everything I've worked through in order for that victory to be won. So I've actually removed so much of the influence of OCD and perfectionism from my life that I would say in some ways my life looks completely different. I have way less fear than I did 5 years ago, than I did 2 years ago, than I did last year, than I did 3 or 4 months ago. All of those are victories that have been won. But yet, I had a moment today where I was like, oh, I haven't done that. I haven't done it. It's not done. The project's not done. I got to start from scratch. No, what is that? What is that? It makes me sad. Yeah, and as far as perfectionism goes, like I do still feel like there's all these perfectly good days to enjoy. This is one of them. Look at this view. Beautiful. I just picked some more cucumbers from the garden. You know, life isn't perfect. Of course, it never will be, but there's good here right now. There's things to be grateful for. But I had a hard time getting going today. I had all these things on my to-do list that I just kind of didn't do. And if I'm being honest, I spent too much time watching videos myself. Maybe maybe you need to stop watching videos and go do the thing that you need to do. And I did some things that helped me, like I did a batch of meal prep that's gonna help me for about the next 5 days. That's nice. And to some extent too, I was like, Allie, you're probably just tired. You know, like I think I've said this in another video, I can't expect every single day to be like a knockout day for my to-do list. What is that? That's perfectionism. And it's just like also comforting myself and being like, it's okay. You know, you're not a perfect person and maybe you needed a little more rest today and maybe that's okay. Maybe this stuff can wait, you know? And there is a line. I know that there's a line with that kind of stuff. But I just have regret over sometimes and annoyance over how it feels like I have to work myself up to things. That daily battle of the mind just feels like such a curse sometimes, if I'm being honest. And I get tired of it. I get fatigued from that. But I know that self-accusation and condemnation is not the way out of that. Loving acceptance and compassion is the way out of that. And I'm okay where I'm at right now. Something that's blocking me a bit is my phone is almost full. In fact, my battery's low recording this and my phone's almost full. So in order to keep making videos, I'm gonna have to address, the phone thing's easy. I could just charge my phone. But I am gonna need to figure out how to back up my videos and then delete them off my phone so that I have that space again. So that's something I'll need to figure out. And I had multiple opportunities to do that today, but I didn't take them because I was like too tired or something else came up. You know how that is. And that just like, it just depresses me a little. I don't know, maybe I'll watch this back in a few months and be like, wow, she's being way too hard on herself. I don't know. Some days it's just like one of those days too. I didn't sleep very well last night and there was a huge thunderstorm that woke me up for like an hour. So I need to drink more water. I'll go drink more water after this. But you know what the difference is that, can I be honest, like this kind of stuff, these thoughts used to happen every single day. Like, you know, life's disappointments and life not working out exactly to plan, that's pretty much happens every day, right? That we live our lives. But I used to spiral. And then I would be exhausted. I was not equipped. I had to go and equip myself with and retrain my mind in the ways of self-love and compassion so that I no longer drowned. And that's the difference of where I'm at today. So today, right now, it's like the end of the workday. There's another workday tomorrow and I have like early morning meetings, so it would be good to get some sleep. I want to go outside here and just take a walk and enjoy like the nature that I see, pet my cats, And it's like, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, you didn't have a knockout productive day. That's fine. Not every day is going to be like that. Not every day needs to be like that. I'm not behind. So those are the ways that I nurture myself, and it's been such a process. There's a beautiful, beautiful song by Abby Gamboa. She just came out with it this year, I think. It's called There Goes That Man. And she has lyrics in it. It's something like, all of the years the locusts stole, all of the time I didn't dare to hope, you will return 100-fold. You will return 100-fold. So talking about how God restores and redeems the time that was stolen from us. And time can get stolen in so many ways, right? Whether it's tragedy, whether it's a limitation, whether it's the battlefield of the mind. I really believe that. I really believe that now because I've seen it to be true in my life. I've seen God redeem and restore my life, and I actually believe that He is going to keep doing that. And that reminds me of, I think it's Romans 8:28, that God says He will work all things for the good in our life. Maybe I am a little bit down today, just remembering all the time that OCD struggles and perfectionism has stolen from me, but it's actually okay. And it's also okay to not be okay. So if I need to have a cry after this, I don't try to force myself into a more positive mood anymore either. And usually that means I recover faster too, because yeah, I don't believe in forcing and pushing through as a lifestyle anymore. There may be moments and times for that, but God has called me to a life of active rest. And I labor to enter that rest, actually. His yoke is easy and his burden is light. I'm even doubting this video because this is possibly the first time I've come on here and just given unfiltered thoughts from something that just happened a few minutes ago. I do think that this is something I'm really passionate about, talking about struggles like this, because like I said, they used to just dominate my whole day, every day, back in my 20s. Yeah, a lot of time was stolen from me, and so I would really love to just encourage others if they're at that place and just feeling despairing. I would love to be able to offer them a way out if they don't know that there's a way out, or even to just talk to them and say, you know what, it's going to be okay. And that's really all I have to say for now. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. All of the years I hate, come here, you don't want to come here? And this is my other cat. This is Hazel. Say hi.